Last and final topic tonight. This just was top of mind when all of these other topics came forth. And me and Oliver just kind of brainstorm. I mean, just throw out an artist name. Prominent artist that's been doing good works over the years. But as much as he has been doing good works, it feels to me like he has been flying under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like there's much attention on him, especially at these times. The artist who I'm talking about, people, a man who says Spain Town original, the man who do the song who says Smile for Me, Jamaica. You see me? The artist I'm talking about is Chronixx, with the two X them on the end. You see me? So why we bring up Chronixx name is I'm just wondering in regards to the music, when are we getting some new music? What's going on really with Chronixx? So I say new music, I just mean singles, because yes, Chronixx has been dropping singles here and there. Most notably, him drop a recent single named Safe and Sound. So it's not like me not identify so that exists. But more for me, I don't see a body of work. I don't know if maybe you have it on the way. But Oliver, what you think about Chronixx? Basically, it feel to me like him a play the background. Him not really out there and loud and proud. As loud and proud as many of his songs in past hits has been. Because to me, them songs, they really resonate with people. Like, for instance, A Smile for Me, Jamaica. That's speaking of a proud Jamaican in my view. That's how I see it. So what's going on? Where's Chronixx? Am I wrong to be asking this question?
You mentioned he's putting out singles. I think he's always been careful. Most reggae artists usually more careful when it comes to putting out an album. And I'll bring up another one. Damian Marley takes sometimes 5 years, 6 years before him drop another album. The problem is, well, not a problem, but what I think Damian Marley does very well is he know how to extend an album, right? He put out visuals, and one Damian Marley album, 2.5 years later, you can see a video, right? So he's excellent at that. And in the meantime, he usually do some features there and that to keep you, interested, or put out stuff on him own ghetto youth label as compilation, right? Chronixx now have that. Chronixx usually, he have a crew, but Chronixx move solo, right?
Pretty much that way to me.
Those Chronixx, right? So he now have no compilation. Him put out he have a little one song on a Rap Nation compilation earlier this last year.
I think we had reviewed that song as well.
Right. In the put out the Bella Move.
Yeah.
In the put out Cool Breeze, Cool as the Breeze.
Yeah, the song for the Rap Nation, we like that song. That sounded bad.
He have some alright songs. What I think of play Chronixx though is people expect so much from him. I'm almost guilty because of that. People expect much big things from him because he had some monster hits. And for a reggae artist, it's not normal or easy to have monster hits international because his brother will perform on Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and everything. Them always over here and get a little promotion here, a Hot 97.
Yeah.
So I think right now what going on is him not have that hit record there. And even though reggae artists generally don't need a re-hit, I think people put Chronixx in a different stratosphere because I'm always give a big hit. Right. Who knows some big, we are talking about 100 million views on YouTube. Yeah. Just YouTube alone. So it's an artist who always come with a big hit. The Likes was a big hit from last album.
They love me, not
So I like so far, I don't know if him just a test for see what work. Cause to me, I felt like the Della move fell flat, right?
Yeah.
Like it never catch on. I'm not sure why he went that direction.
I think the
Della
reason
move,
why that didn't catch on was unless you understand his roots and where he's from, you're not gonna really understand the Della move. And then the Della move owed to back in the days when I think it was Admiral Bailey. Who
Admiral
did the
Bailey,
right?
Della move, make me do the Della
Yeah, if you don't
about
understand that,
89.
right? If you don't understand that, it never really catch on. Which and
Right.
we give him kudos for that because him look back to the past, pull something, associate it with where he's from, De La Vega City, and he made something very creative, right? But
Right.
sometimes some of the things that when you put the max effort in, not in a really get the impact where you would have like.
But I wonder too if him just stay back. I think there's an album in the clip.
It feels that way to me, but
I think Corona hold him back because one, Chronixx is a touring artist. Anytime him drop him tour for all years after one album. Chronixx can tour after him catalog already. So I think right now him feel like if him drop an album, it have a lukewarm. Right now a tough time to drop an album. Things are start opening up so maybe. But I think we had a lot of good albums last year. Struggle because of that. Like artists who struggle. To me, Protege and Lila Ike suffered because of that. I think Buju Banton suffered because of that.
definitely.
And I wonder if them are go back in the lab and come up back with another one. Because them couldn't really tour off of the album in the current time. If you have good material though, you still can tour to have the records. But if people now go out and them not play that much, do you have anything? So maybe I think that strategy just as
I was just about to ask you that.
I may hold it.
I was just about to ask you. That was my next question. I was going to say, well, if this strategic or waiting and not putting out anything major.
I think we do have one.
Yeah, I mean, but like honestly, I'm going to
I
implore.
think we want some Chronixx.
Exactly, I want some Chronixx. I'm going to really implore any artist or producer to put themselves in a jeopardy by putting out something, a major production where it now got the balance now got reciprocate itself. Like you gotta put out more than you gotta possibly receive, right? But I mean, we want more Chronixx people. I'm telling me for me alone feel that way then. Oliver, I want you to tell me now. I want you to tell me, say, yo, my feelings either off base or unfounded or whatever.
No, I think people just love Chronixx, and in these times you don't want to hear what him have to say. For the singles when put out, him had some good messages in them and some one-liners. The new song where Safe and Sound,
yeah,
him have a line where him say, every era need a one done, right?
yes.
And that could be controversial because politics and government are going to tell us that we don't want to Danism, right? But I remember when that song came out first, Braga posted that clip and say, you see it. So I think there's a certain amount of people at Jamaica who believe that the danship thing works. This is not something I personally think I'm educated enough to comment on.
Yeah.
I kind of understand both sides, but I don't feel I have enough background information to really comment on which one better or not. I think we have to live there.
Stick up in there, so I'm glad you bring up that point there. Because, like external eyes, we can't talk from, I guess, maybe living in some of them communities there, even though I would consider myself, so yeah, I'm living in some of them communities there. But you believe, hold on 1 second, I have to decline that. And my apologies, people. Yeah. So what's your take on the kind of era leader mentality? Because, for
Like a
instance,
man?
yeah, like I done.
Mm.
Because look on it
Good.
like this. We've seen where in certain neighborhoods, as soon as that one man will control the neighborhood gone, it's just pure chaos.
That's what's
No,
going on
no,
right now.
no control,
No order.
no order. So, and we can't continue to follow the dynamic or feel like Jamaica is like everywhere else. We are trying to get it standardized, right? So I'm not gonna tell people say, yo, we should subscribe to the dunship type of mentality. I'm not force that upon nobody. But I think we need to be dynamic in our approach and how we think about things. Right? We can't just because we say, like you had mentioned to me either today or the day before, New York City, them locked down the place because of Corona. We follow the same thing. Right?
The
And
exact same
follow
thing.
the same strategy. We
Yeah.
need to come up with things we're suited and fitted to our landscape, our culture, our people. We cannot, just because we, see them do something in Europe, in England,
We
we
apply
quickly
the
follow
same
it.
band-aid. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's silly. It's silly. And we tend to do that a lot. I'm glad
I
you
mean,
mentioned we do that a lot.
so again, you think the statement where Chronixx makes that every community need a one done, you think how far-fetched you think that is, or you think
I think
there may be a balance there?
there's a balance there. Like I said, but I can, from what I understand or how I feel about it. Me not like you put anything on a one man, what you think. But I think there's a certain element of it because it brings order to the place. Because Jamaica in certain garrison is a chaos anyway. Then I know then it's just how much is the chaos, right?
Right.
All right, now we know then in a certain area, crime always been there. It just seems now it's very random. Like I remember one time I would be able to even communicate to somebody and I would say, boy, yeah, visit Jamaica, man, if they're afraid. Um, because the crime there is not random. It's usually political or gang fight in our neighborhood, garrison, some kind of you do a man things, something happen, right?
Right.
I don't feel that way anymore. And I don't feel that way for the last few years. Maybe that's attributed to the damn thing not there about again.
Right.
That right now a total chaos. If a tourist I go there, I can't feel good to tell them say, yeah, you can definitely feel nothing gonna happen. Because a random acts are going right now. A whole heap of female killing, raping. Occasionally you hear some tourist fuckery where you never used to hear. You see what I say? So right now, man, I wrap things in a broad daylight. And when I go back into that, cause I think we'll go into that a lot about the deeper issues and root causes.
Yeah.
But the main question we ask is, we come out of the Chronixx discussion. Is there danship needed? Boy, it's a hard, if I have to pick a side, I think we would have to similarly set where you are said, have to have a different approach to our thing. Until we get to the point where this is not necessary.
And if the powers that be and government feel like we have the wrong approach or we think about it the wrong way, then guess what they need to do? Figure out the resources we needed and get the issues solved promptly so people won't have to have these kind of speculations, because what is really happening is you might break up a certain, you might think you cut off the head of a snake and you say, yeah, we cut off the head of the snake, so certain things are going to die down. But from what I see it coming, like, in a Jamaica come like the snakehead grow back. I saw it look.
Multiple snakes like Medusa.
Exactly.
So I want to ask you something, Randy, because you mentioned something about what the leaders them to do. And it made me think about a thing. Do you think Jamaican minister, prime minister who in charge should hold regular press meetings like the president does here?
Like town halls and
Like,
stuff. Town halls.
just like every Wednesday or whatever, the president take answers from different political or journalists or different stations. And I know we just said don't copy the exact same system, but sometimes we can take certain things. To me, a small country like Jamaica, we should have this. There's no reason why our prime minister, I don't want people feel like we're attack wholeness, because I name alone do this. But why is it that right now it seems like the prime minister we have communicating through Instagram?
Yep, social media base.
Instead of actually coming in front of the people and the news outlets.
Social.
What's the reason for that arm's length approach, right? Because it seems to me like trickery. If you tell me, say, oh, you're transparent. Me, I know, say, social media can be controlled because it's not a third-party independent cameraman, right?
Right.
You can edit and delete. It's not live where you want to post, right?
Exactly.
So if that's your main mode of communication with the people, then to me, at time we have some kind of some town hall meetings. We said this before, but some actual report every week.
Right.
Answer questions like, what are you doing about? Okay, we see you go and show up to Chronixx family. What have you done since? What are we doing to make sure things like this don't happen again? Go back on Corona every day again.
Those questions need to be answered. Like I said, in a forums like a town hall would be a perfect place for people to actually ask them questions there. And then now it's up to whether it be the opposition or other leaders to all our current leaders are people in place or control, hold them responsible and accountable in order for us to see the change that we deserve. Because again, we don't have these things. It's almost like, stop short of calling it a certain word, but it's almost like the people them not have no freedom of speech. It's almost like the people them can't voice them opinion. It's
you
like
can't ask no question.
They can't.
Because if a leader lead from Instagram, right? Oh, you have to contact him. DM him and him ignore you.
Yep.
You now hold a press conference.
And the responses and everything on social media tailor-made. It's like a photo app, basically. It's just
and
like a pure photo app.
In the Gleaner, with you make a statement about the music, but nothing else. When I see where you plan to do, what's your reasoning, where you come to that conclusion from.
You hear them say, but like back in the days, yellow jingo journalism, it's like a whole heap of propaganda spread, and you use the news media and the social media and whatever you have resources you have control over to try twist and turn and bend the people their mind. But the people them also see certain things and I wise up and I realize, say, yo, you feed with this, but certain things just not getting done. And I'm not blaming it on a singular person, but the most prominent person in this is the Prime Minister of Jamaica, right? Some other measures need to be put in place and other strategies need to be adapted.
We need to reassess the system, for real.
For a real long-term change. You see me? And this, we are talking this all start of our conversation where we discuss Chronixx. And when we get a new album or a compilation or music or whatever the case may be, just because of something where Chronixx said. So every year.
I just want the people them to know say so we do a thing. If you like it, tell we. If you don't like it, tell we. But I think we are the type where this is how we even talk outside of this.
True.
You know, we always end up at some point going to the social issues. And we're not trying to say we are just a serious platform or anything like that. But people can tell we stay away from the gossip. We never almost ever do no gossip topics on this show. Some people might say, oh, that cause we finna grow. I think we still believe the right people them are gonna find the channel, right? And because the majority not there yet.
Honestly, right now, I feel like a lot of what we've been saying, I'm finding that other people are saying it now too.
Oh, right. They're catching up. Hopefully one day when them go back and look them and say a long time we've been saying this and we've been put things and I said things where it makes some sense. Or if it don't make no sense, tell we, right? But people, information age we share, we need to do this. We need to talk. We need to share our opinions on what we see are going, how to make it better. One mind can't fix it, but we need to make them know what going on with it. How we see the thing. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we're not just here to preach and teach, people. I mean, it's not a dictatorship. We are sharing ideas, we're sharing thoughts, we're sharing opinions. And hopefully, if you disagree with anything that we're saying here, you have the cojones enough to comment. And
please comment, people, for real.
Yeah, definitely. And I always say, it not always have to be about the positives and like the likes and stuff. It can be dislikes too. You can tell me why.
Real.
You don't.
Now we grow from that.
Or correct me if we're wrong.
Point it out so we can have a discussion about it.
Right. And so my train of thought, as well as Oliver's, can be corrected if needs be.
For real.
Yeah.
Not about that at all.
But definitely, people, thanks for tuning in. Chronixx, we want a new compilation.
All about Chronixx.
Yeah, we need a new body of work. We need you have to put some more pressure upon some of them, reggae-centric new artists here. We feel like them are with the reggae banner where just do some, I would consider those surface level stuff. You see me? Put some pressure upon them. Show them, say how them can take the risk and do real rubber dub music too. And not just the stuff were easy for listen, easy on the ears. Because sometimes the easy on the ears thing not really gone away. Again, people, this is the Reggaecy where we endeavor to preserve the legacy of reggae and dancehall music by discussing important topics as it relates to the reggae and dancehall culture. My name is Randy. You have Oliver, you see me? And if you never hear this before, we're going to say it today. Reggaecy's legacy. And that's why we're there to discuss that. Manners and whole heap of respect. Blessings.